Okay, so that was it for price elasticity of demand. Let me just highlight this. The next thing we're going to look at, number 2, is income elasticity of demand, or in short, YED. So once again, the definition, as I said before, if you look at different books, you'll find different definitions. But the way I like to define this is by saying that YED measures the percentage change in quantity demanded when income changes by 1%. Okay, so the formula for YED is, let me write this down. So what we are going to get is so new QD minus old QD, this whole thing divided by new QD plus old QD divided by 2. This whole thing we are going to divide with new income, Y's income, minus old income divided by new income plus old income by 2. Okay, so let's do a calculation and see what that gets us. So suppose you used to earn 10,000 taka a month, and when during this income you used to buy 50 units of a good, any good, then your income went up to 12,000, and as a result what you do is you start to buy 80 units of this good. So because of a rise in income, you're buying more of a good right now. You guys have talked about this in the previous chapter already. Just remember, whenever there is a change in income, your demand curve shifts. Okay, so let's do the calculation then. So YED is equal to, I'll use the same color of ink. So new QD minus old QD divided by 80 plus 50 by 2. This whole thing is going to be divided by the income. So new income minus old income divided by this whole thing, right? It's pretty straightforward, just putting numbers in there. And so what we get is, from here we will have 30 divided by 65, and over here we have 2000 divided by 11,000. Right. So if we simplify this a little bit, what we get, if you guys have calculator, just plug that in. We have 613 times 11 by 2. So 33 by 13, that gives us 2.54. 2.54. Okay, so once again, calculating YD is pretty straightforward. What is important is for us to be able to analyze this figure. What does 2.54 mean? So you need to write that down again. In this case, what it means is that if income change by 1%, quantity demanded of this good will change by 2.54%. And that's pretty much how you interpret this. Now, the interesting part, values of YED. Okay. So we're going to look at four separate value points. Notice that for PED, we could say that it will always be negative because in the formula, either the denominator or the numerator was always positive and the other was always negative. Over here, we do not have that problem, okay? So let me just write down the values, then we'll talk about them. So YED can be less than -1. YD can be between 0 and -1. YD can be between, or actually let's write this -1 to 0. YD can be between 0 and 1, or YD can be more than +1. Okay. So let's talk about this two first. Or actually, no, let's talk about 3 and 4 first. I should have written it in a different order. Let's talk about this. So for example, in our example, we saw that YD is 2.54. So that's here when YD is more than 1. Similarly, if YD was 0.5, for example, what would that mean? A YD of 0.5 means that if income increased by 1%, our demand for the good will increase by 0.5%. If income increased by 10%, demand will increase by 5%. So in both cases, an increase in the income is leading to an increase in demand, and vice versa. A decrease in income is leading to a decrease in demand. So what we can say is, in both these cases, we have, and you all would have learned this in the previous 2 weeks. In both these cases, we have normal goods. Up here, however, we have negative. So suppose YD is -2. What does that mean? That means that if income increased by 1%, demand will decrease by 2%. Or if income decreased by 2%, demand will increase by 2%. Over here, we have inferior goods. So if YD is positive, so these are all positives, this too, it's a normal good. If YD is negative, we have inferior goods. And then the concept of elasticity also comes in. This is elastic, and this is inelastic. Similarly, this is inelastic. This here is elastic. I'm not explaining why 2 of these are elastic, why 2 of these are inelastic. I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Think about it, not for 20 seconds. Spend at least a few minutes until you figure out why 1 and 4 are elastic, Y2 and 3 are inelastic. And then if you don't understand, you can go and ask your instructor during one of the live sessions that you're going to have. But before that, please think about it and try to figure out why. Okay.